What is up, guys? It's Irfan again, and this is a follow-up from the previous video, which the time I'm recording this, I literally just recorded. This is going to be the gameplay, covering the um, video uploaded, which was me running through the add-ons, the perks, and a little bit of the offerings in brief. So, what I figured I would do is for um, at least this game, this video, play a couple games, run through my thought process of how I would play Trapper. I know I could very easily just use a map offering both times to get a map that I want. However, I don't think that would be very useful. So for the sake of this video, I'll just let the game decide a random map um, once, and then I'll pick the map in the second game. But like I mentioned, if you guys watched the last video, this is the build that I like running. Barbecue and chili for ore reading as well as blood points and all that good stuff. Brutal strength just to perform certain actions 20% faster. Hex rune to slow the game down and just not have all the gens be done in my face instantly, and also save the best for last. So yeah, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ready up, and I will be back when we get into a lobby. And yeah, will literally be a moment of seconds for you guys. Alright, so here we are. We got first game as Family Residence, which isn't a bad map. Let's see what we can do. So off the get go, I always look around because I always want to get an understanding as to where I spawn. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to find the window part of this vault, which is right here, and place a trap. I am using iridescent stone and tar bottle, so traps are darker a little bit, and yeah. So what I just did, I set 2 traps. You don't want to just set all your traps down before doing anything. So I'm going to pick up this trap, and I might have seen someone. Yeah, I did see someone. So we can begin the chasing. What you don't want to do as Trapper, first and foremost, is that you do not want to be setting all your traps off and then chasing, because you run into situations like this where they may have knocked out a couple gens before you've done a chance or had a chance to do anything. You got a survivor stuck over there, which I haven't even been on that side of the map, so that was an automatically placed trap. I didn't really have to do anything. What you want to do though is you don't want to set traps at pallets all the time. If you can set a trap and you know a survivor will run into said pallet, but if they see it, then the trap is pretty useless, so you don't really want to do that. We unfortunately didn't get any stacks of Save the Best for Last because we did chase our obsession. So yeah. See a survivor right here. Again, chilling. And yeah, just a simple enough down. Nothing too fancy. Try to hide, but I had sight of her and she didn't run. So yeah. Also, that guy stepped in my trap again. We are close enough. I'm gonna smack him. Obviously, if this guy was my obsession, I wouldn't have smacked him then. But because he was my obsession, or because he's a non-obsession, I smacked him out of the trap. You can essentially avoid smacking, and pick your obsession out of a trap. It'll give you points in some other categories. So you want to pick up a trap as you go. You don't want to pick up or set all the traps and then leave. So right now I'm gonna go on this hip. Never mind, I saw scratch marks here. Not exactly a good hiding spot. Drops the pallet, brutal strength. Take care of that very quickly. If I didn't have brutal strength, there's a chance she can get away. The brutal strength definitely cuts down a lot of time. And yeah, this Jeff really seems to be admiring my traps. I should have smacked him. I don't have any stacks, so save the best for last. That's the thing, like, if this guy was my obsession and I was trapping him, then I'd love it. I'd be loving it. That's the Fang. I don't want to go after Fang. I would rather go after this. I'm pretty certain this is Jill. Yeah, this is Jill. So again, not really bothered. Fang can go on unhook. It's okay. You wanna... This goes for all killers. You always want to... You always want to just go mental and just cause as much chaos as possible. Because... They're not doing gens, and Ruin is doing his job because I'm forcing them to constantly go for hooks and go for rescues. So, yeah. Yeah, at this point we got 6 hooks. And they've only done 1 generator, so yeah. Pretty good going from us so far. I'm gonna place a trap here. Not really, I wouldn't really recommend that because that guy literally watched me set it, but yeah. I'm not sure if they're, well, they're probably aware of my iridescent stone to some extent. Yeah, you just want to go check around. I saw survivor auras here. I want to check the generators in this area. Crow flew off. Someone's running along the wall. The Cheryl. Not really paying attention behind her. Doesn't see me walk behind her. It's unfortunate. Like, this is the downside. Like, my obsession isn't doing too great. I'm pretty certain they're also dead on hook. But I could do one of two things. I could either leave them on the ground, or I can just kill them. And yeah, this is the one downside. If your obsession doesn't do too great and they end up dying very quickly, I'm not gonna have very many tokens. But just because my obsession is dead doesn't mean I can't get a new one if someone decides to strikes or uses for the people or whatnot. Not that I think for the people is in play, but yeah. This is what you call a breakable wall, by the way. The brutal strength does work on this. But yeah. I'm gonna go... I did see an aura. Or was it this gen? There's 2 of them here. I'm gonna go for Joe because I feel bad for the Jeff. But yeah, I'm just carefully placing my traps. See how I'll go point this out. There are a couple of traps at vaults, but notice how when it comes to a tile with a pallet of some sort, that I'm not placing it at the pallet, I'm placing it around one of the sides where they could end up looping. Like, I'll give you an example. Here, for example, there's a pallet here, but the trap's to the left, so I can force them that way and get them stuck. I'm gonna break this pallet. But yeah, we've got 8 hooks, or depleted them of 8 hook states, so we're doing quite good. As a survivor, you don't typically want to get hit through a pallet and then drop the pallet. You take the sprint burst and run away because, yeah, you're closing the distance basically. Didn't have a trap for this tile, unfortunately, with real strength. gets rid of it. And that's why you trap around, because if he had, because if we had trapped in the pallet, he would have seen it and walked around, which is why we trapped around the pallet instead. Because now they'll still run over to it because they'll see the pallet and they'll think, oh, a pallet as a resource I can use. Then I can still force them around the side at which they where the trap is. So it really isn't enviable for them. Hello. I know both of these guys are here. I'm gonna smack this guy and then immediately go for the thing. A couple of traps around here I can set a little better. Like this one out here, I can actually place it in the grass rather than on the outside. I can place it like this, and that becomes a 10 times better trap because it's not easily visible. And the only reason why I set this trap here, I wouldn't usually set it, it's because they looked at me and I didn't want to see them place my actual trap placement, which is here. And the reason why this is good is if survivors loop, they'll loop this side and go for the window and they'll get trapped that way. So I'm always thinking, or essentially what I'm doing is I'm picturing, or I'm thinking which way are they going to loop, or which way would I loop. So then I'm placing the traps out where I think they would end up looping, and that's how I usually play Trapper. I put my mind in the, or I basically not second guess, but I try and preempt what I think certain survivors are gonna do, and then oh, she's gonna get stuck. So I preempt what the survivors are gonna do, and then I counterbalance or counteract what I think they're gonna do by going ahead and doing the thing that I think that they're gonna end up doing. Now the hatch will spawn. I don't believe they use an offering, no. So yeah. So now we have to go around and find hatch. Which you'll hear a sound if you get close to it. I also see this guy, so he just run at me. So he could get hatch, but he won't. See, I'm not sure where hatch spawned. If I had to guess, it was probably like that corner of the map. We'll wander over there and hopefully we can find the hatch so I can show you. But yeah, couple tips though, like always trap around loops, not directly at pallets. Some pallets it makes sense. Oh, here it is. This is where hatch is. So when you get close to hatch, you'll hear it like this. So that's where you know, and you can shut it if it's open. But always keep track of where the hatch is, because yeah, you can get into situations like that where you can close it and start the end game collapse. But yeah, not too bad of a game. You know, Ruin stayed up. We got them to the point where they were doing too much altruism, but not enough generators, and that's the ideal kind of line you want to run when you play a killer game. You want them to get off a gen, then you want them to give you as much time to chase them, and yeah, just do a good job that way. But yeah, I'm gonna switch up my perks and also the add-ons, and I will be right back again when we get into the game. Alright, moving on to the next game. You did use a what you call it? We did use a Macman Estate and we switched out our builds, so we have Corrupt, Pop, Whispers, Devour. And the reason why I chose these perks, Corrupt, you'll see a lot of trappers run this. I run it from time to time. That is a really good palette. But forgot to mention that the main thing I wanted to talk about was Whispers, because I did mention it previously in my I did mention it previously in the tutorial section. So yeah, let's cover Whispers, because you guys may be wondering, like, what do I mean by poor application of the perk Whispers. Now, as you can see, the perk is active, which, you know, is good. Tells me that the survivor's nearby. But the problem with Whispers is that a lot of the time, well, Whispers works when the survivor's on the hook. So yeah, what'll end up happening is that a survivor will get hooked, and the killer will see Whispers is on. So what they will do is that they will camp the area. Now, like I mentioned, Whispers is active when Whispers is active when a survivor gets on the hook. So I don't know if anyone else is in this area, but yeah, we're gonna instantly move. We don't have barbecue, because Whispers and barbecue kind of counteract each other. And I can see a couple of survivors, which I'm not gonna bother chasing. I'm gonna go for Quentin. He should step in this trap, which is why I chased him that way. Now, Whispers, like I said, works on trap survivors and hook survivors, so you don't really want to stick to a given area, because that's how games are lost. My add-ons, by the way, Tar Bottle, I used in the last game. That's probably the only thing I didn't change. And also Stitch Bag, so I can carry 2 extra traps. But you're also using Devour Hope, so that we could get some insta-down plays, provided my totem doesn't break. So yeah, let's get some traps down. You got Nancy right here, which is nice. Dropping pallets, like, you shouldn't be waiting at pallets. I heard her, so I just figured I'd go for her. If we can get it into this trap, who knows. Let's chase it round. She used her live, but we're 1 token away from getting Devour Hope at 3 tokens, which will allow us to insta-down people. I cut across because I know she wants to use that loop to get a fast vault, so I cut it off instantly. You haven't really used Pop. It's kind of why I don't really use the perk, because whenever I use it, just Pop never kicks in. This isn't even a good trap spot. Now we have 3 tokens, so we can go and have some fun. Here's a trap here. So Whispers is really good because you can isolate and identify where people are. Like, I know someone's around here because Whispers is still on. Now if we get a hit on this Feng, she's one hit. So now I know I have Devour Hope. Going straight over there because they just disarmed one of the traps in my tome. But obviously I'm going to put a stop to that. Which they got off. Got my 4th token. Nancy knows where my tome is, so now she's gotta die. Let me just go kick this gem. Right, that kind of tells me that there's a couple survivors over there. I'm back here, huh? I got stuck, that sucks. Devour Hope can come in clutch here. I have to be careful though, I did hook this guy kinda close. Scratch marks. Hi Quentin. Maybe they'll go for this guy first rather than kill. Never mind, they got my tone, that's fine. Devour has done his job. But yeah, as for what was I gonna say? As for the other perks, Corrupt makes it so that it gives the unintentional benefit of being able to preemptively set up a regen, which obviously is nice. Which obviously is nice because it will get to that point, and if you can shoehorn the 3 gens you want to protect, then yeah. We do need to kill people though. So this guy I think is down hook. Go and kill him. Yeah, Corrupt obviously blocks the 3 generators that are further away from you, allows me to set up. Oh wait, this guy's not dead. That sucks. I thought he was dead. I'm gonna go for this Fang since she's kind of loitering. Actually, let me place this. Oh, let me pick up this trap. Kind of sucks. I was gonna use Midwitch to kind of counterbalance what it was that they're gonna do. They're obviously baiting. Anybody who goes for an unhook is kind of putting themselves at risk. They're putting themselves at risk. I really need to give up this hook. Plus Feng is doing a really questionable job baiting. Of course, the one time I move away is when the guy actually gets rescued. Not a problem though. Maybe they'll run back. I really need to kill someone. I don't know if this guy has decisive strike. Alright, thankfully this guy doesn't. Which is good for me. But yeah, Pop, this is probably the main reason as to why I don't use Pop, because Um, you just never use it. It never comes into use. You do have a couple of traps that we can reset and pick up and utilize elsewhere. Like these two are useless now because they were only there to protect the ruin. Devour me, sorry. But yeah. And also this is another use of whispers. Don't like you see it's active. Don't sit there and um, like basically not do anything. Because sitting there and not doing anything is just gonna make things worse. This guy avoided my trap, interesting. He's running away from the pallet, which he really shouldn't have done. Might go for window. That trap is really badly placed. I should have placed it a bit further back. Guys just fed this Quinton to the wolves. But yeah, you see we got 2 kills. Dude, that's why, like, in my opinion, like, I'd rather just, like, get a gen or run people off of gens with Ruin, because at that point I don't have to stop there and give those survivors time to get to the loops. Like Ruin, I forced them off, I can just chase them instantly. Whereas with Pop, I actually have to hook a survivor, then I have to go to the generator, then I have to kick the gen, and then I'm giving these guys with Spread Burst and Lies and everything a chance to get to their setup. So yeah, that's why in my opinion Ruin is better for Trapper. Because I had much more control in that game when I had in that first game of this video when I had Ruin opposed to Pop. But yeah, this is gonna be the end of the video. Again, as per usual, if you guys have any questions for me from this gameplay, then feel free to comment, or if you want to reach out to me on Discord, those links and all the other social media links will be in the description. But yeah, let me know what you guys would like to see next. Let me know how I can improve, and I will see you guys in the next video. Much love and goodbye.